Hello everyone, GalacticStorm here. Welcome to the show, and today we're going to be reviewing the KV-2 Tier 6 Heavy Tank. And this thing, if you think the KV-1 was bad, the KV-2 makes all the Tier 6 tanks look like a little bitch! This thing is a very powerful tank. It was made in 1940 with the KV-1 chassis, but it was used in action in 1941 with 334 vehicles made, but most of them were lost because this thing was pretty much a shotgun tank. This thing had horrible accuracy. Now, when we go with the stats on this tank, I'm going to go to the tech tree line here for the KV-1. We go all the way down here, and there's nothing but the artillery here. It has 810 hit points, 500 horsepower, 35 kilometers per hour in full speed. Traverse is horrible, 18 degrees per second. The hull and the turret armor are pretty much the same, 75, 75, 70, which is somewhat decent. Damage on this thing is 338 to 365 or 563. Penetration is 46 to 76. Rate of fire is 5.45. Traverse is turret traverse is 14 degrees. Turret view range is 320 and signal range is 360, which is horrible. They're not going to go with the 122 millimeter is pretty much the same explosive cannon that you'll get with the KV-1, which you wouldn't want. You would want this thing, the 152 millimeter howitzer, and for a high explosive, 910 average damage. That is godly compared to like the other tanks that you'll get. And then you get the 107 millimeter, which you can get with the T-150, which will come out eventually on this version. But the T-150 is a Tier 6 heavy tank on in the PC version. So we're gonna go here, and it's not 950 average damage. It's a whopping 1,138 damage. This thing will even do damage even if it doesn't penetrate. So holy shit, you're gonna go in with a huge blockbuster punch. Pros on this thing, pros and cons. This thing, like I said, it has an extremely high alpha damage with 152 millimeter and with the heat shells. It has a decent front armor turret. It can do one shots with many of the tier 6 and lower tiers. This thing can strike in the fear even in the higher tiers, which is because this thing can still do damage onto like tier 8 and that. Cons on this thing is horrible with the horrible aim and reload, slow turning and traverse, and the damage on this thing can be inconsistent with the high explosives. But I got some awesome gameplay for you. It took a while, but let the carnage begin. Alright, just for a little video, I'm on Ensk, and when I say high explosive, it also has the term for splash damage, which means the person or the tank that gets hit with a high explosive shell can also feel the same damage. It's pretty much an artillery shell, and the Crusader here and the T1 Heavy are going to experience real soon. 2 hits in a row, and that's a low factor that you'll get with the KV-2, and you realize that those 2 would have been instant kills, but this gun is, well, like it says, it's inconsistent, or it's pretty much a derp. Anyway, let me show you the prized gameplay that I got with the KV-2. Sand River. Out of all the maps I've had to do for a gameplay, I hate Sand River. This thing has hills, nothing else, nothing more. It's pretty much a giant sandbox. And with the KV-2, it's not the best environment, I think. I think we're in a tier 8 match. And this thing, even at a tier 6, this thing can still do massive damage onto the tier 8s and 7s, even higher. But I hate this map because A, there's literally no cover. B, it's all nothing but hills. C, it's 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 all hilly. It's pretty much a giant sandbox. And speaking of that, I really haven't done good with the KV-2 because of its long reload and that I really haven't had the patience to do something to be with this tank. Either I'm charging in or I'm pretty much making mistakes, and literally like a few days worth I've been getting nothing but bad gameplay with this. This thing it's horrible when it comes to like the long aim time and that. But everyone would always seem to go with that 152 millimeter howitzer. And that tank, well, this thing is definitely not a joke to be with, but this thing is pretty much known as the king of derp for a reason. Mainly because of that gun. And it's just, it can be pretty much a clown of itself. I mean, you can miss it, you can have low damage, you can have high damage and pretty much kill someone with an instant shot. Which we're going to pretty much demonstrate with this thing. And right now, everyone's going to be here, and there's Robinson, Borsing, Waffle Traeger, T-44, there's some T-29s down there, there's a BK, and it's starting to lag right here in a little bit, for a bit. But right beside there, it's a Jagdpanther, Tier 7 German tank destroyer. And this thing has decent armor. What Jagdpanther? Yeah, that's what you'll get with this thing. It literally wiped the armor out of it, and yeah, you pretty much got a instant kill with that. And it's a Tier 7, for Christ's sakes. Couldn't really do that, could you, with any other tanks? But here's a BK-36 or 1H, or 30K or 1H, I don't know. But that thing also got one shot, and it too got like 200. It had like 200 hit points on it left though. But it still did a one-shot kill. And right now, 2 kills so far, and we're on assault. We're defending, which I should have mentioned earlier. I'm going down here, which I usually don't like going to because a lot of the tanks would be down here. But it looks like it's clear right now. So we're gonna go up here, and what is this? It's a Nashorn, Tier 6 tank destroyer. And this thing may be it might have a good gun, but what about your paper-thinned armor? Yeah, you really don't have that. You really don't have armor. So, 3 kills so far, and it looks like we pretty much cleared this side of the map already. There's only 3 tanks, and oh my god, it's an ass of a T-29. Juicy ass. That ass. Light up for me. Oh yeah. Light up for me real good. That sounded perverted. I literally took like half of his health just from that shot. And pretty much when I shot him, his fuel just erupted. Luckily he had a fire extinguisher. Well wait, actually that's unlucky. And I'm aiming for the top of that turret, and 300 damage, which is pretty good. That's pretty good, but the T-29 screwed. I'm trying to reload as fast as I can, but this thing has a 25-second reload. So now all the guys are pretty much going down here and are just literally killing the enemy team now. We got the other side secured, so I'm going down here. Going down here, rolling down like a boss. I really don't use the armor piercing rounds because they're pretty horrible. It's 100 or like 80 millimeters of penetration that'll do. And there's a KV-1S showing its side. Yes, please. So that's 4 kills so far. So if you show your side or your back, you're pretty much screwed, even if you're a lower tier. I think. There's a KV-2 with looks like the T-150 cannon. There's the Romantin Borsing Waffenträger, which is really good for its fire rate, but unfortunately not good for its armor. I think that's a tier 7 or I think that's a tier 8 tank. Yeah, that was a tier 8 tank. So I tried to go up to this T-44 right here. I got another nice shot at ass, but I wasn't paying attention to the environment. And there's that T-23. Looks like, I think that's a T-23. Yeah, that's a T-23. Tried to go to the back on the tank, and luckily I got saved there. Otherwise, it would have been really humiliating. So, 5 kills, I can take that. That's the best I've done with the KV-2 so far. And I got 29,000 experience or silver and 1,600 experience. And with the I got Mastery Badge 1. I literally destroyed the Yag Panther, destroyed the KV-1S with just one shot. Nashorn, VK32, oh it's a VK32OM, I'm sorry. Romantin Borsing Waffenträger, and then I just literally blew that T-29's health away. But I didn't kill it though. And I did about 2,460 damage, which is a lot. I mean, well, it's a lot, but it's common for the tier for the KV-2 at least. And the T-29 did pretty good. So let's review this tank. So, what do I think about the KV-2? This thing can be a pain in the ass, but if you are experienced or is pretty much going for a laugh, this thing is highly recommended. This thing is awesome. This thing is just as good as a TOG-2. And a TOG-2 is a mortal enemy of the KV-2 because of its weak armor. But we're not talking about that. We're going to be talking about the ranking and the review on this tank. So what I think about it is this thing gives a ranking of a 9 out of 10. Okay, so why a 9 out of 10? So let's go down and see. It is a really fun tank in tier 6. I think it's the best tank when it comes to damage on that tier. It has excellent damage with its 152mm howitzer. However, when firing and aiming on this thing, you always have to take cover after firing at it. And you always have to angle, slope, etc, etc. It has a, however, I did make this a 9 out of 10 because of one thing. It has a very slow aim, it has a very slow reload, and it also has a very slow turret traverse and turning. And yeah, it's the biggest con out of this tank, but everyone would want that damage on that with that cannon. And yeah, that's what I think about the KV-2. I apologize again on my inconvenience on last week, but 2 out of 2 videos isn't bad. So I hope you rate, vote, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And well, I also have a Facebook page down below. I hope you guys go on there and just to follow me in that. So yeah, this is GalacticStorm, and I say I'll see you guys later.